viewers, Vibha and myself are here today to share some of our experiences with you as college teachers. The program is an attempt to highlight how a college teacher can be sensitive to students and some of their problems without really being a professional counselor.
Poonam, do you really think a college teacher can also be a counselor?
Yes, of course. In fact, I think that many times teachers are doing counseling without even being aware of
Yeah,
it.
that is true.
Because counseling is really a process of befriending. It is more a way of life. If I am sensitive towards another person and I have time to listen to the problem of another person and I try and help the person to solve a particular problem, I am really doing counseling. And I'm very sure that teachers would have faced many similar situations where they are all the time trying to reach out to students and helping them understand the small problems that they face in their day-to-day lives.
Do you like to share some of your experiences?
Yes, why don't we go for a role play session?
Excuse me, ma'am. You wanted to see me.
Ah, Satish, yes, come. Please come. Sit.
Thank you, ma'am.
What happened, Satish? You didn't come for the trip with us? We missed you.
Actually, ma'am, I want to be alone.
You want to be alone, Satish? That's not really true. You've always been such an active student, participating in activities. Always. What's happened? Something is bothering you, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like to talk?
लेकिन मैं शेयर नहीं करना चाहता किसी से.
You don't feel like talking about it?
No, I don't think so.
No, I'm sorry if I'm intruding into your personal life, but I just felt very concerned. I've been noticing that you've not been asking any questions in class. You look so withdrawn. Even the other day when I organized a declamation contest, पहले तो आपने बोला participate करेंगे, काफ़ी excitement थी, फिर क्या हो गया? Last minute you withdrew. So I just felt a little concerned. I don't want to force myself upon you. If you feel like talking, if I can be of any help.
Actually, ma'am, मैं डिसीजन नहीं ले पा रहा.
किस बात की डिसीजन नहीं ले पा रहे?
प्रॉब्लम शेयर करूं या ना करूं.
ठीक है. If you don't feel like talking about it just now, it's all right. Take your time. But whenever you feel, you can share something with me, and if I can be of any help, I'll be very happy. Don't hesitate, and it'll be between the two of us. I can assure you of that. Okay? Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
As you saw in this session, the student came to see me because I had reached out to him, and despite which he was not willing to talk about his problem.
No.
He was very hesitant. He kept feeling that maybe I should not be the person he should talk to. So I did not exert a teacher-like authority and say that, tell me your problem. I just let him be. If he was not comfortable, I told him it's all right. And at the same time, I gave him room to think about it and come back to me whenever he felt like. So I communicated to him that yes, I'm available, I'm willing to help you, I'm approachable, you're most welcome to come anytime you feel like. Let's have a look at the second session with the same student.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, ma'am. You are busy.
No, Satish. I was just going for a cup of tea. Can we have it together here? Come, sit. बैठो.
Thank you, ma'am.
हाँ बताओ.
Nothing can be done, ma'am. I am worthless.
What happened? Why are you feeling like that, Satish?
Actually, फैमिली का प्रॉब्लम है मैम.
फैमिली में कुछ प्रॉब्लम है?
यस मैम.
बहुत देर से सोच रहे हो इसके बारे में?
यस.
So this is what's been bothering you for so long.
यस मैम.
Have you been able to share it with somebody before?
नो मैम, नेवर.
Do you feel like talking about it with me?
यस मैम.
I can see that you're feeling very, very disturbed.
यस मैम. I am worthless. Nothing can be done, ma'am.
No, Satish. I understand how you feel. Do you think nobody cares for you?
Yes, ma'am. Exactly. यही प्रॉब्लम है.
But why is it that you're feeling like this? Since how long have you been feeling like this?
मैम, पिछले 4 महीनों से मुझे लगता है सारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मेरे पे आ रही है और मैं उसे लेना नहीं चाहता.
कौन सी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी सतीश, इसके बारे में हम बात कर सकते हैं? So that I can understand exactly what you mean.
Yes, ma'am.
Now it's become very obvious in this session that the student has tried to open up. Even though he began with a note of hesitation once again. But eventually at the end of the session, he came to talk about his problem a little bit. What is it that made him feel like that? Because I was able to communicate to him. Not only am I available for the time that he requires to talk about the problem, but that I will keep it confidential, that I am probably reliable, that I am probably the person who he can have confidence in, that I may be able to understand him. So it is these things which I was able to communicate to the student that at least that made him open up his problem.
There were certain qualities of a teacher that has helped Satish to open up. Poonam, do you have any other situation in your mind that you would like to demonstrate here?
Yes, there was a case of another girl student, in fact. This time, of course, this student was not withdrawn like the earlier one. She was a very boisterous girl, very open, and she came and spoke to me. In fact, somewhat a bit angry also. Shall we have a look at the role play and talk about it then?
Yeah.
Ma'am, actually what I want to discuss with you is I've put in so much of hard work. I see that other students in my class, they don't work so hard. I literally sit for hours in the library. And I try to refer to maximum number of books, different authors, everything. And at the end, I get lesser grades. Other students, they don't come to class or they use a key. They take hurried notes. They take notes from me and get better marks, better grades. And particularly, even you did this, ma'am. In the last project, I had worked much harder than Vandana. And now Vandana gets more marks and I don't.
You think I was not fair in my judgment of the work of both of you?
Ma'am, I don't want to criticize you, but I just felt that I should tell you.
Yes, it's all right, Vandana. You can say so very freely.
Ma'am, even in the class, this always happens. But maybe I shouldn't discuss this with you, ma'am.
Why do you feel like that?
Ma'am, because maybe you would go and tell this to Vandana and I don't want a bitter fight between us or something like that.
Oh no, Jaya, don't worry about that. I am not going to talk to Vandana. After all, you have come to speak to me. Why should I go and tell Vandana? If there is a problem that you feel about Vandana, I will talk to you. Isn't it?
But ma'am, I had a similar problem again with Vandana. And I had talked to Mrs. Chandani about it. And you know what she did? Maybe I shouldn't talk about Mrs. Chandani also to you. But still, ma'am, since I started, I will tell you. I'm not... Mrs. Chandani went to Vandana and told her that Jaya feels this about you.
Oh, I see.
And that too right in the classroom.
Oh, I see. And that must have been very embarrassing for you. Uh-huh.
Naturally.
Did you talk to Mrs. Chandani to tell her how you felt?
Ma'am, no. I felt there is no point. Actually, maybe she never understood what I was trying to say.
That's possible. But anyway, let me assure you that this is something that I will not talk to anybody about unless you want me to. If you want me to talk to Vandana, I will. But if you don't, I will not.
Maybe you feel that I come here to say bad things about Vandana. Maybe you feel that I'm personally jealous of her or anything. But ma'am, the only point I'm trying to make is that I put in so much of hard work. And always back at home, my parents tell me, and all over the school and colleges, people say hard work pays, talent pays, one has to be honest, and that's what pays. But what happens in true life? Maybe psychophancy pays much more. You just go about buttering people and you get better grades.
Is that how you feel? You think that people have psycho-fancied me and therefore I get them better grades?
Ma'am, I'm not talking about you particularly,
I understand. But you do feel this, that this is probably what does happen in colleges, in institutions. And I don't think I can deny it completely. Sometimes these things happen. But let me assure you that this is something that I myself don't believe in. So I'll try my very best to understand what is it that's worrying you and whatever I can do to help you.
Ma'am, I feel it's a difficult thing, ma'am. This is one thing. And also I don't want that I should have bitter relationship with Vandana.
Yes, of course. Why should you?
After all, maybe ma'am, you won't know, but the first year she was the only friend I had. And we were very good friends.
Vandana and you were good friends, Jaya?
Yes,
That's something new. I never knew about this.
Ma'am, that was in first year. But slowly, along the line, somewhere something went wrong. Maybe, ma'am, it's something like this. I'll tell you. But, ma'am, you shouldn't feel that I'm saying this all by myself. But it's only a feeling I have.
Yes, I understand that. You be absolutely free with me. And I can assure you once again that it's between the two of us.
Ma'am, Vandana and me, we both share the same interests. And she is fond of music, so am I. She paints and I do. And we read the same kind of books. And we even sometimes think alike. But maybe somewhere she felt that I'm better at it, or I'm more original or something.
So you mean there's some kind of a feeling of competitiveness or jealousy? Is that what you feel?
Yes, ma'am. Like, exactly that's not what I feel about her.
You feel Vandana feels
Yes,
like
ma'am.
that?
So,
But if you were good friends, then you must be also missing her.
yes, ma'am.
Do you feel like doing something about it? Do you feel like making friends with her again?
Yes, ma'am.
You think it is possible?
From my side, yes.
Well, I'm so glad that you say that, because I think it's wonderful that you want to make friends with her again and not let competitiveness worry you so much. But for this, maybe I can try and help you by knowing the situation a little more, trying to understand what is it really that worried you and that, created some kind of a rift between the two of you. You think we can talk about it again sometime a little more in detail? Right now, in fact, I have a class. I have a class with you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you think we could go together?
What did you want to convey here?
Yes, in this session, there are 3-4 things, important things. The first thing was that, if you noticed, I was very quiet and I was listening.
Yeah.
The student was wanting to talk. She had many things to say and share, and I let her talk. I was very patiently listening to her. The listening was not only by keeping quiet, but I was actually there with her. Even in my non-verbal expression, I showed to her that I was with her and I was trying to understand what she was saying. The second thing really that was important was that, remember when she spoke about how she tries so hard to study but does not achieve the kind of marks that she wishes to.
Yeah.
And I did not in any way, like normally a teacher would do, that maybe you didn't study hard enough, or maybe you didn't put in as much effort as the other person did, or whatever. I did not say any such thing, which normally a teacher would say. Instead, I accepted it.
But one thing I would like to raise here, you have mentioned that you evaluated the project's report objectively. In spite of that, you agreed for the re-evaluation. I don't know why you said that. Maybe just to give reassurance to the student, or I don't know the other reason. If you can explain here.
Yes, in fact, that's a good question. I do know that I tried my very best to evaluate the projects objectively, but because she felt that there was some kind of maybe partiality and she's not able to feel convinced that other students who don't study very well get more marks and I'm not able to. So in that respect, I thought that why don't I convey to her that I can be even more objective. So that was really, the objective of that was to help her feel reassured.
Yeah.
I didn't, it's also possible that I would have made a mistake. After all, when I say that I'm also human and I can make mistakes, I convey to the student that I am equal to you, that I am not above you.
I think that is also a desirable approach for a teacher to adopt. One more thing I wanted to ask you, like you have shown two problem situations. Why you have taken only these two situations? Maybe there is some objective behind taking these two situations, or just like that?
No, certainly. The issue is that here in today's program, the basic objective is to convey to our viewers the manner and the approach in which a college teacher can exercise while reaching out to students. So whatever the problem may be, it is not really the problem per se that is important, but the way as a teacher how I approach the student, my sensitivity to observe that the student may have a problem, my sensitivity to reach out to the student, make the student feel that I am available, that I have the time for the student, and I am willing to put in my very best to understand what is worrying him or her, right? And I'm willing to listen and I'm willing to go along to help in the situation. I think that is really what is the objective, not a particular problem. There may be many other kinds of problems which I think college teachers all over the country may face with the kind of students that they're teaching. But these problems may not be representative of all problems. However, it is a particular approach that we are trying to convey.
Poonam, how can you differentiate between a college teacher as a counselor than that of a professional counselor?
Yes, in fact, I would say that a professional counselor is a person who will be able to go deeper into understanding more complex problems and perhaps helping the person to resolve them. I don't think we expect that kind of a thing from a teacher who is also playing the role of a counselor. But there are some qualities of a counselor, of a professional counselor, which would enable a teacher to be a counselor, such as making oneself available, being sensitive, expressing a reassurance of confidentiality, and a willingness to help. So these are the qualities, I think, which if a teacher has, she is a counselor as well. But she will not be able to handle very deep and complex problems for which, for example, she can refer the students to another right appropriate place. However, she will be in a position to identify such students who do have problems, for example.
Yeah, I think that is main important.
Yes.
One more thing, like teacher has to develop some qualities of a counselor. And in today's situation, where teacher and students, especially in higher education level, the interaction is for a minimum period of time,
Right.
and how a teacher can develop these qualities, that I wanted to ask you something.
I feel that it's not necessary for college teachers to undergo some kind of professional training to acquire these qualities. As I mentioned at the beginning of the program, I think most of the qualities that make a teacher a counselor are really the qualities which make a good human being.
Yeah,
For example, sensitivity, willingness to help another person, making yourself available, and putting in your very best. I think these qualities are in most of us. That's why counseling is not something that is really taught in that sense. But it is really a process of chiseling these very qualities which are in all of us. And if a teacher develops and cultivates these qualities which she already has, I think she can do the job of a counselor very well.
Do you like to say something else to our viewers?
Yes, I would like to add a few things. One or two things, of course, very clearly, which I have already mentioned, that if a teacher does make herself available and is approachable and expresses that she is reliable and trustworthy, I think she's already a counselor. And I would say here that normally the kind of role that a teacher plays as a teacher, which is very authoritarian, exerting power over students, something which is not only peculiar to the role of the teacher, but it is peculiar to the Indian hierarchical system as well.
Yeah.
I would say that role will have to be shared if the teacher must be a counselor as well. If the teacher is able to shed that kind of an authoritarian role, I think college teachers are as good as counselors as well. For example, in the role play session with Jaya, you noticed that there were two occasions when Jaya wanted to know whether I would keep whatever she talks to me in confidence, because she was scared. Now, normally a teacher has the tendency to talk to other teachers about students, or to talk to other students about other students, because this happens in an institutional setup, or to talk to even the principal. Now, this is the kind of situation which can very easily betray the trust of the student. And
that is
if
true.
I want to help the student in any way, then I may as well develop the ability to look at this as something which is very confidential and personal, and help. Unless and until I take permission from the student, I must not talk about her to everybody. So it really is, I would say, our college teachers need to shed the authoritarian teacher-like role, which they normally do. But if they want to be good counselors, if they want to help their students, then this would be an appropriate thing to do. Vibha, I hope that our viewers have found this program useful.
Thank you, Poonam.